Hello and welcome to this live talk show on how to think out of box or think creatively. Thinking out of box and creatively is a very important requirement if you are in a managerial position, if you are in a problem solving position, whatever your departmental position or wherever you are working at, even in your personal lives, you are solving a lot of problems all the time. For all the time solving the problems, you might have been hearing the job description or performance in the performance and result. Think out of the box, think differently, think creatively, think critically. So these terms are very easy to say, but how do we do that? So this we are going to discuss in this next 30 minutes or so that we you can get easier and understand what is the meaning of thinking out of box. When we say think creatively, what is the meaning of that? What when we say think out of the box, what is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of the box? What is the how do we think out of the box? So let us, before we dive into thinking creatively, critically, or out of the box, we need to understand first what is thinking. When are we thinking? Human mind, whenever it's either is sleeping or is awake, we are always thinking 24/7. So basically how we think is defined by two types. We are thinking in two ways. One is automatic thinking, when our brain does not do any kind of efforts to think. For example, you are driving, for example you are watching this video, for example you may be scratching your head, for example anything which you are doing on a daily routine basis. You are driving from your office to home, you don't have to worry about the turns, you don't have to remember the road, because your brain already knows that. So it's already filter out unnecessary information or distractions and just focus on the things, and it drives your body by knowing what to do and what not to do by automatic way. So there are all automatic thinking. We don't do any kind of efforts for that. Brain is since we see a lot of information all around us every time, our brain works very efficiently by removing things which are not really important for anyone, which are not really important for them to make a decision. So it sometimes assume things, sometimes it's create things, sometimes it will just ignore the unnecessary information, the noise, and will keep only things which are necessary to make a decision. Now it depends on the brain, how what kind of information it seems necessary, what kind of information it assume as correct. It depends on how much you know, how much is what is your education, what are your experiences. So our thinking process, the automatic thinking process, is always dominated by the way we have been brought up, the experiences that we have, the education that we get, the assumptions that we make about our world, around a perception about the problems that we normally make based on our belief system, our education, our experiences. So the brain will not accept whatever is not consistent with these beliefs. For example, religious belief. If my religion is Hindu and I don't eat meat, my brain will say eating meat is not a good thing. So anybody who is eating meat or anybody who is advising to eat meat, that will not be acceptable to my brain. So that is the automatic thinking. Since we are thinking quite a lot of times, the brain, if we have to stop and evaluate everything, it will take ages for us to move forward. So brain has been defined by the nature to think very fast. So how does it make it very fast? Uh, it creates principles, it creates schemes, or it creates algorithm in our brain that will help us to learn very fast, that will help us to think very fast. Now when you are thinking out of box, or when you want to think critically, you have to stop thinking automatically. Stop thinking automatically is not a natural thing. you have to make an effort to say, okay, I don't want to think automatically. How do we do that? Our thinking is based on certain assumptions. So first is our facts that we know. Second is our observation that we have been making all around the time. Take an example: when you drive from your home to the office, when you drive for the very first time, you will look at every step. You will look at all the red lights. You will look at all the shops that are nearby, the malls, the police station, or anything else. And wherever there are there are crossways, where there are pathways, there are crossroads or traffic lights, you will observe for a few times. Once you have observed it, then the brain has already remembered the pattern. You will automatically go about it, and then you don't have to pay attention to the lights. Your brain will automatically alert you after some time: yes, there is a light, you need to stop. And when you are driving the car, when you drive very often, when for the very first time, you have to take attention of where is the gear, how to turn it, how to make it faster, how to make it slower. You don't once you drive it for, let's say, 20 times, 100 times, you don't have to remember anymore. You just go automatically. It doesn't mean you're not thinking. It's still, your brain is thinking, but it's on automatic mode. Now when it comes to the office, let's say you have been working on some projects for a very long time. You have been working in a certain department for a very long time. You have experienced a lot of promotions. You have experienced a lot of problem solving things. You have seen few things are not working, few things work. So what your brain does is, they register everything, and they just keep only the solution. They just keep only the result in their mind. Okay, for example, we want to promote, let's say, on social media. When I post on the morning, it doesn't work. So if I see the analytics and have seen the result, my brain will say, okay, the morning post doesn't work. It won't say that, oh, the post may be not the picture, it was not a video, or it was a text based, or the content was not right. It doesn't carry those facts in their mind. What it remembers is the post in the morning doesn't work. But when somebody is gonna ask you to again post in the morning, so your brain, the first reaction, means the automatic reaction from your brain will be, the post in the morning doesn't work. So that is the job of automatic thinking. When we are thinking out of box, or when we are thinking creatively, we are driven by not thinking automatically. We don't want to think automatic. What we want is, we want to slow down. And here are a few steps that we are going to look at to learn how we think creatively. So the first process in thinking out of box, or thinking creatively or critically, is gain clarity about the problem. So what is the clarity? What clarity about? What clarity about the facts? Why is this problem? Root cause. So you may need to ask at least 5 times why. You might have heard of step by step, 3 step why, 4 step why, 5 step why. In scientific research, it has been proven that if you ask why for 5 times for the same question, then you will be getting the root cause, until there is no other logical explanation of why things happen. For example, just to give you an example, let's say your car broke down on the way. So you may ask why the car was broke down. So you get checked it by an engineer, and they say, oh, the engine was engine broke down. Okay, so why the engine broke down? It was not greased. Okay, why it was not greased, or why the grease was there but it's leaked out. So now you will be seeing, oh, the garages are all rotten. So you will be asking again why it was done. So maybe because you haven't done regular maintenance of the car is not maintained for 3 years. So that is the root cause of the problem. The root cause of the problem, car breakdown, is not that engine failed. The root cause is that you didn't service your car for many years. So let's say another example of the same car was the fuel was not there. So why the fuel was not there, you need to ask. Maybe you can say, okay, we forgot to uh, fill up the car tank yesterday, or we didn't check. the car tank yesterday. So why didn't we check the car tank yesterday? Maybe you were doing something, or you didn't really thought of, when you were going outside, you didn't check for the car tank, you didn't check for the. So that is the root cause, not the car was broke down because there was no petrol. The petrol is just an effect. The missing of petrol is just an effect. The actual reason is that you forgot to check your card. So next time, how you can prevent it? So this is how you go to the root cause of the problem, asking why does that happen, so that you can get to the root cause of the problem. So that is a the first step in thinking out of box is to understand the root cause of the problem. Now the next thing to ask about the problem is why. So what is the if the what if there is a problem, what is the impact, how does it impact my performance, how does it impact my company, why do I care about it, why do I care about this problem? Yes, this problem is there, but what is the impact of this problem, what will happen if we are not fixing the problem? By understanding the final reason why we are fixing this problem will help us to gain a fruitful result, the meaningful actions that are generated towards fixing of the problem in the right reason. The next thing is, what is the need, what are the needs of the person who is having problem, what else he may need. No, the anticipating the needs, because some problems are just the first step, but they are not the final step. So you may need to ask the person who has a problem. Okay, yes, we find out the root cause, we find out why is it important for them, what next, what he's going to do it, what he's going to do about it, anticipating the problem, so that you can fix the problem from the first effort itself until the next step as well. Otherwise, you may not be fixing the problem properly, or you may not be having a correct solution. Now, what is now let's move. This is the first thing. These are the main steps in solving any kind of problem. Now let us think, how do we think out of the box? What To understand, how do we think out of box, the first thing is we need to understand what the box is. So normally, whenever we are thinking, our thinking process, our brains, we are boxed by our facts, what we know, our knowledge, our assumptions, our experiences, our observations, our observation in the life we make, the past experiences that we have. Based on those facts, observations, and experiences, we make assumptions. We make assumptions based on these three things. And these assumptions are then filtered out by our beliefs, because we may have a lot of beliefs. Our belief system is impacted by our religion, our education, our past experiences, social and economic environment in which we are living in. So those impact our belief. So our assumptions are filtered through the belief, so that we can say, okay, what is wrong, what is right. Belief means, what do you believe as right, as wrong. So uh, this is our box. This box is defining our solutions. Whatever problems we have, we are filtering it out through the facts that we know, the observations that we make around us in the past, the experiences we have from the past. Based on those, we make the assumptions and then filter them out through our belief system. So our belief system is also different. Everybody has different beliefs, everybody has different perceptions, so they would think differently, right? So that belief is creating our box. So when you want to think out of box, what does it mean? You have to push the box will remain there. The only thing you can do is push the box boundaries, push the facts, means increase the facts, know more about the problem, know more about the situation, know more about how you're going to solve, by looking at the books, by gaining more knowledge, by by discovering more facts about the problem, increasing our observations and experiences, by learning more books, by looking at the industry, that we may be working in. So you may have to look at the other industries where they are working. Maybe they may have find certain solutions. So those problems are again very helpful in when you are trying to solve the problem. Beliefs, you may have to change, you may have to challenge the assumptions that you are making. You may have to challenge, what if doesn't happen, what if I don't know about this, what if I believe that the problem that I'm solving, the solution that I'm getting, I'm just judging it from my previous experience. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is the right solution. So how to do that? Now you need to there are certain things that we you can do to do this. First is another way to do is when you are thinking out of box, don't think alone. You may want to involve your child with you. You may want to involve somebody who has no experience with the problems. Let them ask questions from you, right? And then you don't ignore those questions. You have to accept those questions as valid questions. Find out why they are saying so, what are the results of their questions, so that you can adopt, or you can understand your assumptions, maybe where you are missing, where you are boxed, where you are bound by your previous assumptions. Sometimes the non-experienced peoples may look at very fresh perspective about a problem. So you may want to look at those problems, so that you can really think differently, right? So it will help you to think differently. Then the other way is look at the other industries. What are the best practices they are following about similar problems? It's not necessary that you may, because that's your assumption. If you say that, oh, that's different industry, that's different time period, it doesn't apply to us. Our industry is different. Our industry works differently. It doesn't the thinking out of box or thinking innovatively doesn't work like that. You have to be ready to challenge your assumptions. You have to be ready to think that the other solutions whichever happening in other industries may also impact in your industries. You may have to then the other things is that you may have to create a mind mapping. So the another way of thinking out of box is create a mind map about the solution that you want to achieve. So put the solution in the center. Then you say, okay, what are their needs, how they would be satisfied, right? Then how you are going to how you are going to achieve their expectations or the expected solutions. So this way it will help to understand. And then you may also want to map out, what do you know, what are your assumptions, which experiences, based on what experiences you say that certain solutions may not work. Because when somebody is, even you might have observed in, let's say, group discussions or in the brainstorming exercises, somebody may put up a solution. Your brain immediately will say, oh, this doesn't work, I have already seen it. But before you reject any idea, you have to go to the roots of that, saying, okay, why do you think it does not work? Why? Which experiences of the past you are saying that it doesn't really work in that way? You can compare the situation there and then. You can compare the facts, what went wrong at that time that you were not successful, or the experiment was not successful. What is it, the same situation now? Is it, or can be a different, or can we do something differently? So that is a one way of another way of thinking creatively. Then the some okay, now let me ask you exercise. If you are watching this live, you can see this on the screen. There are 9 dots here. What I want you to do is you put make this drawing in your in your hands, in your paper, without lifting the paper, without lifting the pen. You just need to draw 4 lines, 4 straight lines, which without removing the papers. Let's do it for let's take it 30 minutes in this process. and then you will be able to see can you do it in 30 seconds or not. While you are doing that, please share the video as well to your friends so that they can learn easily. So let's do it. And then once you've done it, post the picture, take a picture of it and post in the comments so that I can see if you have done it already or not. Let me give you a solution now. When we think in our boundaries, we know, okay, the first understanding we have is we have to cover all the boxes. So sometimes we say, oh, 4 lines, how do we do 4 lines? There are already 4 boxes, so one dot will remain there, right? So you will not be able to do that. It's not possible. But and you also are thinking, the first thing that when this exercise came in my mind is that I need to cover the lines within this particular area. I'm not going outside. What if I want to do outside the box? So you cannot cover everything in one way. So the way one way is to cover this is to go outside, right? To go outside the box. So you can easily create that by looking at the lines. So let me give you a solution. First, think about yourself, how you are going to fix it, and then I will give you the solution in the comment box. We are going also to have a session on the financial modeling very soon, next week. So if you are interested, please look out for the description box. I will be putting the course link there. It will be a virtual class. You will be able to join that class for just a very small payment. It's a very practical exercise. You will be getting a template where we will be doing it along with us so that we can do it together. It's not that it's not a lecture only where you will just get only the theory. You will be doing along with me. So it will be more of a practical exercise where we'll be learning how to model every aspect of your business, whether it's starting, whether it's growing, whether it's making any decision, comparing the alternatives, creating the decision making scenarios. So those kind of things we are going to be discussing in that sense. So let's now give you the solution. So what you would need is, probably you may want to try from here, just slightly outside, right? And then you can create the line here. We are not removing the pencil yet. You can definitely go differently without removing the pencil. So we are moving again without removing the pencils, and then we are going like this. So this is how you can create touch all the 9 box with the 4 lines. So there are 4 straight lines, 1 2 3 4, and I did not remove the pencil here. So that is one way of challenging your brain, challenging your assumptions, how you can think out of the box. So just to give you a couple of one more exercise. um, let's say I want to give you one more exercise. So think there is a pen, right? There's a pen. How you can use it? 15 ways. Just write down 10 ways of using this pen differently. What how one way is definitely you're gonna write it out, right? What are the other ways? Think for 30 seconds or 50 seconds or 1 minute, and then write down why, how, what kind of an alternative use you can do with this pen. Post it in the comments. What are the different ways you can use this? At least 10. Try to find out. Once, if you are not able to find out 10 ways, you need to think, okay, what are my assumptions? What is stopping me from writing down the comments? What kind of ways that came in my mind, but I rejected it, right? For example, you can use this for, can you use this for making hole? Okay, maybe something in your mind will say, ah, it's not sharp enough, so you cannot use it for punching the hole. Yes, you're right. Can I use it for as a stick to beat somebody? Maybe maybe that's but your brain will say, the first assumption will say, ah, it's not effective because it doesn't hit. But you need to think, what was the purpose? The purpose is just to identify the use. The purpose was not to hit somebody, right? So these are the different ways you can you but thinking out of box is not like I can you can learn in 1 hour or 30 minutes. It's a regular practice, slow practice. You will be slow in the beginning. When I first learned these out of box tricks, I'm still learning, right? I'm not perfect yet, but what happens is when you start to do it, it becomes very slow. And since our brain, the automatic portion of our brain is very strong, it always tend to give you the results immediately. It doesn't want to wait, right? But you have to consciously say, wait down, let me take the assumptions, let me understand what are the experiences, let me understand why I'm not able to look at another solution. So these are the different ways how you can actually look at the problem solving, how you can think out of the box. So it will take some time for you to overpower your automatic brain and implement this the second brain, which is more critical, like the left and right brain. One brain is thinking out automatically and then another brain is thinking creatively, but that brain usually works slowly, right? It needs, because it consumes a lot of energy. So and it's lazy also, it doesn't want to think that much. So it creates the results within from the experiences and send to the automatic brain. So next time you see a similar problem, the automatic brain will kick in automatically. What you need to do when you are thinking out of box or when you want to think critically is stop your automatic brain from thinking. You have to say, okay, stop down, write it down, all your assumptions, write down all the experiences that you have in the past and challenge all of them. Challenge means you don't have to reject the conclusions, but you have to understand maybe those experiences, those assumptions, those observations may not be valid anymore. What are the facts and what are my assumptions? Your brain assume a lot of things. Your brain, because of your past experiences, because of the things they know. So what you have to do is challenge every assumption that you are making about the solution, about any kind of problem. So to summarize, when you want to think out of box, the first step is to gain a clarity on your problem. Clarity by asking why, by understanding why is it important, the problem, why you want to solve the problem, what are the needs or the anticipation, or what is the next use of the solution that you're gonna provide, right? So once you understand this part, then you need to go to the thinking side, understanding, okay, how you are going to create a solution. So when you are creating a solution, try to challenge all your assumptions. The best way is ask somebody who is not experienced enough to ask the questions from the to you about the problem. So they may ask very stupid questions. That's okay, but it will help you to gain an insight or gain or let you to stop your automatic brain from thinking. So you don't have to reject their questions. You just have to think it again one more time, right? This is the solid. This is the structure you can use to think out of the box or think creatively or think critically. I will be doing a full course together with some pre-recorded videos and some live exercises online very soon. So just subscribe to this channel, and then I will be announcing the course very soon. You will be able to gain that workshop. It's not going to be one time workshop. It's going to be a long drawn process where you will be linked to the internal community. You can ask any questions you may want to ask. You will be able to access all the videos that I will be creating on this particular subject, and the live exercises that we're going to be doing. Some exercises will be on Zoom, some exercises will be on the physical, on the form of posts or in written forms. You will be able to ask your personalized questions, whatever you want to ask in your personal life, which is related to you, your problem only. So I'll be trying to get help you in thinking. So I'll be acting as your thinking coach or the thinking mentor. For being a thinking mentor, I don't have to understand everything that you know. I just have to help you in thinking slowly and thinking consciously, thinking critically. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and I hope you really learned something new about from this. If you can share this video with your friends, it will be great. Thank you very much.